export. Create that, hit export, and bum, that's done. Let's go back over here and open up to export, and there are my 2 files in there. So we've got my regular size one, it's huge, okay, it's 4,500 pixels wide, and then the 2x one, 9,000 pixels wide. Okay, granted, I didn't exactly size this thing for web things, so you wouldn't be doing stuff this big, but the numbers are the numbers, right? It's double the numbers, so you got your double, your 2x size, and your regular size. Okay, you're going, well, I don't do web design, I don't care. I'll show you what else you can do. So remember, we did this by 2x, but I can also define an actual width. So let's do this for the background. Let's go into my background, and my background's a JPEG. Now I've got my full resolution one, but that's kind of crazy. I also want one that is only 1920 wide, 1920W, 1920 wide, and it's got a naming conflict here. Okay, well, let's go and look at our naming because we haven't changed anything in the name. Slice name, size suffix, scale suffix, that's going to conflict. So let's go ahead and call it, let's put a width in there. We don't need the scale suffix, and let's just go slice name dash width, and come on, zoom out, hit done. And now of course it's gonna not show me the whole name here, is it? Well, the preview, it would be background. Here, let's do this. We'll change this to BG. There we go. BG and BG-1920. There we go, that's easier to see. So now we can see the different naming systems in there. Pretty slick, right? So now I've got those, and I can add different ones entirely. I could add all these different sizes in here, right? Or I can even add a whole different format. Go, you know what? I want this out as a JPEG, and I want this as a PNG. And I want the PNG at 1x, and that's fine. So I've got 3 different things going out. So now I can start piling up all these different formats from a single export. One click will allow me to export all these different layers as different files in different file formats in different sizes and so on. Michael Schulte is asking, does 2x mean upscaling? Yes, it will upscale, but this is why you want to start with higher resolution graphics so that if, let's say that I'm designing something that's going to go at 800 pixels wide, but I want it to be Retina, which means I actually need it at 1600 pixels wide. So my initial elements I make sure are the full 1600 pixels wide to start with. I drop them onto my 800 pixel wide canvas and scale it down, right? Scale it half size down so that, or anything down, as long as it doesn't scale above that original size, then it's going to look just fine because it's not upscaling. Yes, it will upscale, but that's why you give it high resolution graphics to begin with. And this is why it's so important to remember that in Photos, it doesn't natively, when you scale a picture, it doesn't natively go in there and change the resolution. It doesn't render it, raster it out, unless you explicitly say rasterize this, which you can do. But unless you do that, then it's not going to do that. Okay? Alrighty. So, let's go back in here. So I've got all these different aspect ratios that I can do. Okay, so now we're getting confusing, right? We got a bunch of different stuff and a bunch of different sizes. So we can actually set a path for this. So I can say, you know, let's put this in a folder called background. And let's put the text in a folder called text. And you see it automatically puts the slash after it. So you can see it's just, that's not big enough to see it. And then the 4-bar, we're going to call this one a 4-bar. Oops. 4-bar. There we go. So now we have these paths all automatically set up. All right, so now those are all set in place. Let's go ahead and, what did I do in my background? How did I change the opacity of my background? Well, that's weird. I don't even know how I did that. I must have gotten jiggy with it in here. No, it's not there. Uh-oh. What have I done? Oh, good Lord. Background. Well, that's just weird. Go to my layers, pixel layer. I have no idea what's happened here. How did I do that? It's selected. I'm going to hit 0. Oh, there we go. So that's just, I'm hitting the numbers on the keyboard, 0 for opacity. I'm honestly not sure why that's even happening there. That doesn't seem like it should be. Well, I am good at finding little bugs in here, aren't I? I don't know if that's a bug or not, but that's too weird. So if that happens to you, hit the 0 for 100%. Okay. So we've got all these set in the slices. Remember, we've got our slices set up. Let's go ahead and export the whole thing. We're going to export this out to the desktop. We're going to call this 3export. Hit create and click export. Give that a moment to render. We've given it a lot more to do, so it'll take a little bit longer here. And then we will take a look at the folders in the Finder. You've just watched a 5-minute sample of a live training video. To see the rest of it, head to PhotoApps.Expert/live where you can purchase and download it, or sign up as a member. Members can stream any live training video as often as they like and have access to video tips and other exclusive member bonuses. To learn more about membership, head to PhotoApps.Expert/member.